What's up, guys? Brady Burks here. We are going to get the tractor out and hook on to the grain drill. We sold this drill, so we're going to get it out, get it lifted up, and get it ready for the guys who are coming to pick it up and move it on. Before that though, we're going to tag a calf. I saw I had a newborn calf, so we're gonna go take care of that. Here we go. Real quick before we get started, I appreciate everybody who's watched our videos so far. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. It just helps us grow the channel. Some of my buddies have told me, like, dude, you're a mouth breather. You need to quit being such a go-getter. Like, it's hard to take big strides and walk and everything when you're filming at the same time and run out of breath. And secondly, I had some music issues where, like, if you're watching it, everything's fine and dandy, and then boom, music turns on and like blows you out of your seat. We'll correct a lot of that as we go. Appreciate you guys bearing with me. We're learning. This is new. Big stride, big stride, big stride. Walking fast, moving fast. So I just took a walk here this morning and I was counting calves and kind of looking. I've got a newborn out there. I could only see 2 calves. So I was like, okay, I don't have a newborn. That's one that I've tagged before, and that one's tagged before because I could see the tag. But as we got to walking, your animals will tell you a lot. So here's a mama cow here, and she's coming up right to the fence. She's not leaving the fence. And so, what is she telling us? Got this woven wire fencing we put on here. It's like a 5-strand barbed wire fence. On a lot of our fences, we have the top 3 barbed wire, and the bottom 2 are smooth wire, so that when we're bird hunting and your bird dogs are hunting your fence lines, they don't get tore up on the fence. Super good idea in theory, but what happens is cows will stick their nose under that, especially the bull, and they'll get their nose under that and pull the T-post up and things of that nature. So on all of our fences, we've gone back and put back barbed wire, and even in our calving pasture, put this woven wire fencing on here to keep calves and things inside. Before, calves would just squirt right through that because, it's nothing there. So we put this woven wire on here. So in theory, you shouldn't have calves get out of there. But Mama's looking at us like we're wrong. So we'll just where you got them at, Mama? We'll just take a peek. She is looking at us hardcore. Look at her standing right there at the fence. Hey, little guy. You're lost. Come on. Hey. There he goes. So anyway, every once in a while this happens where one will get on the outside of the fence, and they usually go in and out on their own if they do get out, but it is a pretty decent fence, so we'd hate for them to get out and not be able to get back in to their mom. Little guy's trying to figure it out. So we ran him to the end of this lane here, opened up the gate, and he went on in with Mom. We're gonna go in and check this other calf out real quick. One thing people might notice is they're like, dang, your calves look pretty small. And they kind of are. These Akaushi calves are sleep at night calving-ease. They just come right out. We don't usually have problems at all unless something's backwards or upside down or different things. So this is 105. We just have to see what we got here. Looks like maybe a little bull calf. Cute little sucker. Good job, Mama. I got my pin, I got my tag. I'm just missing the tagging gun or deal, so. Idiot. Amateur hour. Try this again. Since we left it in the tractor, we're gonna just take a detour and go ahead and hook up to the drill now because those guys are on the way. And we'd rather have this hooked up and ready for them to take it than be dilly-dallying. They're driving a long way to come look at it, so we don't want to disappoint. All right, y'all, so here she is. The John Deere 1590 no-till grain drill with an anhydrous applicator / liquid fertilizer applicator on the back. Drawbar, you can pull your tank behind it. Going to a new home today. It's actually not going to stay with us. We have used this drill, but we've decided to sell it to get equipment that is more important to our operation. What could be more important than a grain drill? I mean, you can't really have a crop unless you plant that crop. Well, true, but that's just a lot of equipment, a lot of drill for our tiny little operation. A lot of our stuff is in alfalfa crops that you plant once and they're there for the next 7, 8, 10 years. So we don't actually plant or drill a lot of acres every year because it's already established. Grass, alfalfa, things of that nature. What little bit we do plant, we can borrow a drill. A few acres we do have to plant or drill would be like our row crop. We have a few acres of corn, soybeans, things like that. That's always cash rented or share cropped with our buddy, and he has access to way nicer equipment, way bigger equipment. You know, a 15-foot drill like this, you're making some serious passes back and forth, and you know, a tractor with auto steer is always nice too. The majority of things that we did is the hay and forage side of things. So the few acres of forage that I have to drill this year, we have a decent amount of bird food plots that we'll leave standing. When we were burning the other day in that video, you could see the remnants of a plot. It was milo that we left standing for bird habitat. Small acreages like that, small plots where you could probably just get it done in a day, doesn't justify owning a drill that nice for a whole year. So for things like that, we can go to our NRCS office, our conservation office, we can go to our neighbor, and we can just rent a drill for the day, get all of our drilling needs done in a day or two, provided the weather cooperates, and go on about life. What we really need is baling equipment and hay and forage tools, and so that's why we decided to sell this drill. We can get a couple balers, we can get accumulators, things that are going to benefit our operation way more than a drill that you're going to use in the spring one time and be done. There she goes, off to her new home. You know, one thing I always think it's funny is I appreciate not working a 9 to 5, but it is funny how you just kind of have to roll with the punches all day long. You wake up and you set out to do X, Y, and Z, and maybe A, B, C is all you get done. Just like today, I was going to tag this calf, had to detour a little bit, do something else, and then come back to tagging this calf. It works like that a lot, and it's kind of funny. It says, what'd you do today? Did you get what you wanted to do done? Sometimes no, but we still get stuff done. It's just not always what you wanted to do or set out to do. All right, back again. We'll try and do this with one hand. There you go. You're all good. You're all good. Just like that. Tail up, happy as can be. So just drove out behind our calving lot here real quick to check on some grass. This is some grass that we burned off a long time ago, several weeks ago, and it's already coming back pretty green. So we have fenced this off. I've got a few more posts to set, but basically we'll open up that south end of our calving lot and let those mama cows run between the calving lot and this fresh grass. they can still get in there and get mineral, alfalfa, water, everything, but this is just a lot nicer to be on. Also, we're gonna bring some of our bred heifers home, and so we're gonna keep them up tight because we're gonna have a semi come pick them up later. But when we go to load them out, we'll move the mama cows out here and the heifers in there and do a little cow shuffle with that. So we're gonna finish getting this job done, let those cows out here get on it. It's also nice because it's not super lush yet to introduce them to it. We got a little bit of high mag mineral for those cows, but if you can start them on, you know, the grass as it's greening up, it's not as drastic of a change than just taking them straight from a dry lot to, you know, waist high pasture. So at least in my opinion and some things that we've done, that's seemed to work out pretty good if you can introduce them back onto grass slowly versus just a drastic change. So I'm out of these little clips that go on these fiberglass posts. Couldn't find any, so I'm gonna have to make do with some utility wire. I will say we really dig those fiberglass posts. My neighbor's a dealer for them. You can get those fiberglass posts at Orchlands or Tractor Supply. We have those white ones that were in that video the other day when we were burning. Super nice. Especially if you're starting out with cows or livestock and you don't have a bunch of money to go build a 5-strand barbed wire fence, hot wire and fiberglass posts are the way to go for the money. You can pick them up, tear them down, the whole nine. We have the rebar posts that we use sometimes, but and some people claim that they don't like the fiberglass. They'd rather have those rebar posts because of deer and things. They claim that, you know, these posts can break or they don't hold up as well, but I believe the opposite. I think these fiberglass posts, when a deer hits them and things, they spring right back up, and you don't have to go re-stretch a whole mile of fence because those rebar posts don't flex. So if a deer hits them and they get wrapped up in the wire or something, it's just gonna keep going and not flex back. It's just gonna pull that wire off. So about, see, this is pasture, this is not NCRP. We're able to do what we want with it when we want, and what we want to do right now is graze it. And you can see we use these fiberglass posts and aircraft cable. The reason we use these fiberglass posts again and these metal clips is because this aircraft cable is abrasive. If you use your standard plastic insulator, sometimes with the wind and things, it'll move back and forth and act like a saw and cut through them. I like that aircraft cable because you can wind it up better. It's lighter on a reel and it's light. So come hunting season, we'll pick up all these fiberglass posts, roll up this wire. Talking about light, those fiberglass posts are light. You know, if you had 100 or 200 of the rebar type posts, that's a heavy load. Whereas you can buzz around with 100 of them in the Ranger, no problem. Here is CRP. All the real black clumps is the native grass, like your big blue stems, little blue stems, things like that. And this is kind of how we want it to look like right now, just kind of barren field. But you can see where brome has come in, and it's coming back a lot greener and a lot faster. So here's where we would spray that out, or consider spraying it out. Probably not gonna mess with it this year. It's not horrible. I mean, looking at the overall landscape versus the green that you see clear back there. So probably not gonna mess with it this year, but it is something to think about, that this might be on your radar in the coming years to want to get in here and spray out this brome before it gets too out of hand. One thing I'd recommend is, if you're gonna clear trees, to use a skid steer with a blade or a stump grinder like the drum rollers. Yeah, somebody comment and tell me what I'm thinking of, the actual name. But anyway, we pushed out trees with a dozer here and an excavator, and you can see that if we ever wanted to hay this field, it left a crater, and it's starting to fill in. But even these little tiny roots that have been left behind, I mean, still are sprouting up trees like this, that you've got to come back and cut that and spray those trees so that they quit coming back. Here's another little one. And after we burn, specifically, we try and come back and get those, because they're easy to see. They're plain as day. You don't have to, you can cut them really low to the ground if you were to swath and bale this and things. But over here is even more of a disaster. Just rough. So you can see all these trees that after the fire, we exposed them. And you can see this crater here where that root ball pulled up. And we piled them up and burned them, and we made this area look cleaner, but there's still a lot of work to be done here. And this is going on almost 4 years. You know, it's not something that you can fix in a day sometimes. We've got some skid steer attachments. We can take care of this size thing and spray them, but overall, if you want to get rid of trees, big trees, hedge, locusts, cedars, I recommend hiring somebody to cut them and spray them if you have to spray them. Do not use a dozer or excavator equipment, especially if you want to come back and hay the field. We're not going to hay this field, and probably won't for a while till we get it cleaned up, but you know, I've said before on my channel that I don't know everything. Some people have been farming and ranching longer than I've been alive. I just, you know, putting out things that are good and bad. So there we go. All right, so we got that fencing project done. Pulled out the power washed dog kennels, cleaned everything, pulled out the swather so that we can start servicing on some equipment. And it's always easier to service things when it's clean rather than fight all the dirt and stuff. We're gonna go catch cows today, but we decided against it. It's Sunday, and by the time we got started, we'd probably run out of daylight, so that's what we ended up doing. So we think we're gonna go feed some cows here and feed the dogs and call it a day, and maybe grill up some steaks. So we'll probably cut this video off here, guys. We're gonna call it a day. It's only Sunday, so we'll start fresh this week. Just kind of some miscellaneous things around the ranch again. Nothing too crazy. Not much we can do given the weather and things that have been coming our way, and the weather that's forecasted to come down the pipe. I think it's supposed to be 29 for the low again here like Tuesday. So just kind of some odds and ends things. Thanks for watching. If you like what we're doing here, go ahead and like and subscribe. That way every time we throw out a video, you're on the list to be able to watch it. Like I say, I'm learning. Thanks for bearing with me. I know I'm kind of a doobner, kind of a nerd. But, you know, we're doing it.